So, welcome to the latest edition of the Talking Timber podcast with me, Mike Jeffrey.
And me, Keith Fryer.
And as regular listeners will know, we cover a range of topics on Talking Timber, and you can find previous editions on our website, www.talkingtimber.co.uk, on Spotify, and on YouTube.
Yeah, you mustn't forget YouTube.
No.
We're there.
And today we're sort of broadening our remit even further. We're talking about the fast-moving world of timber processing equipment, and we're talking with Gabriele de Col, who is the Managing Director of SCM Group UK, and they are the UK arm of the SCM Group of Italy, who are ranked as one of the world leaders in manufacturing timber processing technology and also developing the software that controls and drives it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this because it's a big, obviously at the end of the day, we're timber people, but wood machining is a massive part of getting our product out to the customer. And rapidly evolving. Yeah.
So welcome, Gabriele.
Thank you for having me.
Right. Yeah. Well, maybe we could start off with a bit about you. How long you've been working in the timber processing technology field? How long you've been with SCM? Can you give us a bit of a sort of background?
Absolutely. I've been the managing director for SCM Group UK now for about 15 years because I came a few years ago on the scene in UK, but I was already working for SCM because I started in the 90s down there as a marketing specialist, and I've had the luck to be in touch with this company that offered me the opportunity to grow within the ranks and go from a corporate role to a market role. So now I'm extremely involved with everything that is relating to UK and Ireland in terms of panel and solid wood manufacturing. And as the host, Keith, well known, and so Mike, I've been not only caring about the success of my company, but I've always been really involved with the growth of the skills in an industry that over the years has suffered the losses of apprentices training and hence has required the involvement of the manufacturers to add a little bit of spice in that environment past what the colleges offer. So obviously, I'm talking about my equipment because it's why I'm employed by the company, but I have a strong interest also in the growth of the industry in general. And I'm very happy to see that over the last few years there have been a return of a lot of manufacturing into the UK, into the solid wood in particular.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. But sorry, Mike, I think I interrupted you. You wanted to
sorry. I was going to ask about SCM, the wider company. I described you as a sort of, I think you're widely acknowledged as one of the world leaders in your field. I mean, do you export, you manufacture and export worldwide?
Absolutely. SCM is one of the biggest manufacturers, is in the top 3-4 manufacturers worldwide. Consider that now obviously we have to consider also the Chinese manufacturers, despite their market is very, very remote for almost everybody. And we've been involved with solid wood from the very beginning, especially starting from supporting small joineries.
Yes.
But then over the years, SCM has grown as a group on the strength of its financial model and the quality of its machine and the international perspective that has always had, bringing into the group brands of the level of Celaski, of the level of DMC, Morbidelli, Superfici, Stefani, Rautek. So brands that have reinforced the knowledge, the DNA of SEM by bringing in a lot of competencies that do offer the manufacturers of British Hollywood a lot of expertise and a lot of new developments on the mechanics and the software side of the products.
What are the priorities, if you like, of timber processing for your customers? I mean, is it de-skilling, automation? Is it faster processing speeds or quicker setting? What are the sort of priorities for yourself in this area?
Well, clearly depends on the type of customer, because smaller size customer need to make all the products in their range on one machine. So their aim is for maximum flexibility in a limited space. While the larger manufacturers certainly have different needs, let's say different priorities, which go in the direction of increasing productivity, while remaining very flexible and employing, if you want, the least amount of personnel possible in order to cut production costs and be competitive. So automation is increasingly important for them.
Yeah. No, thank you, Mike.
Yeah, and looking at sort of recent developments from SCM, what are the sort of standout development directions as far as you're concerned in recent times?
What on sort of technology?
Yeah.
Well, certainly in the solid wood world, the company has invested a lot of money lately to regain a primary position on the market. If we then go into the detail of technology, we can talk about the window flex and the fact that SCM has a very important card in the world of window cell, door cell, single components, and one-offs. Obviously, it's not the only one, because the window cells are just one part of the market. We have also done some major development on the molding side. And in the last few years, SCM invested in the software, in the ergonomics of the machine. And if somebody's going to have the time to visit Ligna, we will present the Topset XXL planer molder, which is in addition to the existing range of our molders on the higher side. I cannot say too much about this machine, because obviously we're going to present it at Ligna, so we would like to keep it
you have your big
to put
launch.
everything on the table.
And then is there a particular maybe standout machine in terms of growth or getting SCM into a new market? Has there been one machine that's really stood out from the rest?
Well, I might be repeating myself, but I would say the window flex project for windows and door component. It is an outstanding cell with various levels of automation and productivity on a batch one logic. So that for me is the standout amongst all. But if we look at the timber processes with a wider lens, we have also introduced a number of new models in the double end tenoning from Jelaski, in the sanding and finishing with Eurosystem and the system models, by adding a new texturizing unit for bringing new characterization to wood, and that makes it very interesting for being a specialistic application. We have developed a spray anthropomorphic robot with Superficie Maestro that allows to paint frame, shutters, doors, and in particular has been developed a software to work on the British sliding sash windows, replicating the movement of the operators. All very interesting application.
Yes.
And if we want to go on the very big equipment, so in the timber construction arena, we just presented the Oikos XS 450 and 650 that are designed for the production of laminated solid wood structural components.
What, for CLT, things like that?
Absolutely, that is precisely the environment that we're talking about.
Wow. So, I mean, you really do cover the whole world of wood machining, don't you? I mean, I think of Morbidelli particularly for drilling and things. I think, is that right? And
absolutely, you are nailing the point. As I was saying before, SCM has grown enormously in the range of products by acquiring brands that were Italian manufacturers, leaders in very specific applications. So Morbidelli would be drilling and working on panels. Celaski would be double antennoning, and so on. In this way, we've had the ability to bring in expertise and to grow the experience by bringing the industrial might of SCM to be competitive on the market, invest money in innovation, that obviously for a smaller company sometimes is a little bit of a problem.
I'd like to go back to the Winderflex because I've seen those in action, I think, at Lignan. What degree of kind of human input is required by such a machining centre such as the Winderflex? Is it basically the human sort of component of this is just monitoring the machine and making sure it keeps going smoothly? Is that about it?
Well, obviously there has been a change in the way machines are used, because in the past they were very manual. And so you needed a lot of competence in handling the wood, in setting up the machine, in running the operation. Nowadays, the machines are more and more to be supervised, while all the programming is done externally, and the software transfer the instruction for the wood to be machined in a seamless way from the office or through dongles that can be handled by anybody. So there is really a change in the way the advanced equipment works. There is still a lot of space for the manual ones,
of course,
if you find the skills. But there is also a way to produce a very intricate machining with the benefit of the technology.
I was, I have to say, pleasantly surprised by what you said just earlier on. And I just wanted to get a little bit more information from you when you're saying that actually the amount of woodworking sort of demand, if you like, for woodworking is increasing in the UK. I would have expected you to say it was decreasing, but this is fantastic news.
I think that there has been a reasonable return of windows and door manufacturing, plus the growth of the timber frame construction in double digit is clearly bringing back work into the country. While the windows and doors had migrated eastward in the years, I think that the shock of the crisis of 2008, 2010, and then other issues with transport, with wars, and so on, have induced manufacturers to bring back some of the production.
That's really interesting.
Encouraging. And also there is another element that is the need to customize a lot the product. And this level of customization is better achieved if there is a direct link in between sales and manufacturing in the same country. So the strength of a product like Winderflex allows you to have a high level of productivity and a very high level of flexibility and customization. Right. And that is what more and more companies require at different levels. So, you can have medium to large size manufacturers that can invest in the order of the million, but then you have small to medium size that can invest a fraction, but still have similar needs and similar issues with the finding of competencies to do the job. That is what we were saying at the beginning, Keith.
Yeah. Thanks.
And it seems today that from the machinery manufacturers, there is as much a focus on the software that kind of controls and drives machines. What would you agree with that? And also, what in terms of software, what have been the sort of key developments recently, do you think, from SCM?
Well, I agree 100% with what you say. Software is becoming more and more important. If you look at innovation from a mechanical, technical point of view, there is less and less over time, while there is an incredible growth in the software development. So this is certainly something that we're focusing on a lot, especially with the way technology is evolving in other sectors as well. So the software is the tool through which we have to help our customer to use our machines, so that the specialization of the operator is less and less important.
Yes.
It is very difficult, as we said, to find qualifying personnel. So front-end interfaces are user-friendly, supplying not only the ease of use, but also allowing for training delivery, for example, troubleshooting, setting up ordinary maintenance, ordering spare parts, calling for service visits. So, the software on the machine is really changing and allowing a lot. Moreover, the introduction of software like Maestro Connect, that is a data reporting and service planning tool that is available on the machine, or tools like manufacturing execution systems, the MES, allow to connect the factory floor to the company ERP, and are an indication of the wealth of solutions that SCM has introduced to allow our customers to achieve new level of performance and control of their production. So it is all part of this development of cooperation in between the manufacturer and customer that sometimes arrive a little bit too early for the customer to understand. But when they start looking into it, they say, "Whoa! I wish I had done it before."
I think this is what I wanted to sort of go a bit further into the fact that SCM has the scale and the capability to interact directly with individual machines on the workshop floor. But presumably, we could add into that artificial intelligence as well. Will that become an increasing part of this process?
Well, absolutely. Artificial intelligence is becoming more and more important, right? Today, we are having the first approaches to these technologies in our industry.
Yeah.
It is clear that when these topics are dealt within the industrial world, there are always more difficulties, also due to the impacts that this system can have on the safety of machines. So we have to take a lot of care in what we are looking at. But probably with a bit of delay compared to the consumer world, AI does also have a great importance in this world, in helping operators to use and maintain the machines. In SCM, for example, we have been using already AI quite extensively in the service department. As I was saying before, on the machine, there are software, Maestro Connect, and the information that Maestro Connect extract from the control, the CNC of the machines, is transferred through the network to the cloud to a control room where the data is analyzed and allows us as a company to observe patterns of similar equipment in different parts of the world that otherwise could go undetected or identified as a behavior of that machine. But by having multiple data points, we can anticipate problems and help our customer either to deliver maintenance to eliminate the problem, or to get ready to a failure of the machine. Because let's remember, equipment, as good as it can be, is subject to wear and tear, is subject to faults, is subject to dust, is subject to vibration, heat, mishandling. And so if we can help with AI our customer to be more aware to what they have to cope with, we're giving them a great service.
Yeah. So that's very interesting. So you can effectively sort of point out issues that before the machine user even is aware that there are issues. You can sort of
absolutely
you can preempt problems.
There are two elements of this. A lot of machines nowadays, not only SCM, but for sure SCM have, do deliver real-time information on the controller of the machine to the operator. So if there is an issue, you get a warning. Unfortunately, sometimes operators are if you want, in a rush to complete a job, so they override the warning and reset the machine and start again. You do it once, you do it twice, the next operator comes in, does the same thing. You have been overriding too many times the problem develops in a breakdown. At that point, you have, time lapse in between the issue happening and the ability to work on it and solve it. You have additional cost for repairs. You have disrupting your production. So if I can pre-warn you, not only on the work floor, but also in the office where management or the owner can quickly visualize what is going on the machine, I'm helping to plan, and planning is a great way to achieve what you want to achieve.
Yeah. Turning to another area completely, I mean, Gabriele, we're declaring an interest here. You and I used to help a lot with education, training and careers discussion across the whole of the UK. I mean, what do SCM offer for staff and customers in terms of, and we've talked a little bit there about support, but I'm thinking more now about training. What do you do?
Well, thank you for bringing this up, Kit, because as I said before,
I know it's a passion of yours, and
we've been involved together for years in this pattern to increase the skills of the working instantly. So I like to talk about this. SCM has its own campus in Rimini, where SCM employees, our distributors, but also customers can receive ad hoc training on our equipment, on our solutions. Even on managerial skills, so it is a broad level of training. In the subsidiary here in Nottingham, like in other subsidiaries, we do offer training on programming, on maintenance for our employees and for customers. So we try to offer the full package that is related to the manufacturing, and as long as it's related to our equipment. We don't train on the equipment of other competitors.
Of course.
On top of this, on the newer machinery, on the HMI itself, so on the front end that the operator uses, there is information for troubleshooting that gives training information on how to deal with the problem, being it breakdown or being it maintenance. So the element of training is moving from a face-to-face to a delegated training, like it can be over the internet as well, right? But even on the machine itself, it is possible to have tutorials on how to dismantle a component, how to clean it, how to put it back together, and there you go. In this way, you are limiting the request for SCM direct intervention in sorting what is a, let's say, simple job, but if you don't know how to do it, is a mountain to climb.
Exactly.
So we're very open from this point of view, and we want to be called when there is a serious problem, not something that any operator can deal with, given the right level of competence and given that he doesn't endanger health and safety on the machine. So certain things cannot be touched.
Yeah. I wanted to go back to the topic we kind of covered a bit, but about the sort of smaller timber processor. I mean, the increasing sort of capabilities of timber processing equipment, the increasing capabilities of software. I mean, is there a risk that is going to become a bit intimidating for smaller companies, thinking, "Oh, that's too much for me," or do you have a sort of a way of persuading them that it's equally useful to them?
I think that is something that everybody will have to put their nose in. I mean, the small joiner will have any way to supply answer to the request of their customers.
Yeah.
And in doing so, unless you have the utmost skills in manufacturing components, you need the support of technology to achieve the job.
I agree.
And what we have, we cascade down what we have developed for larger companies into the smaller equipment, because at the end of the day, the functions are the same that need to be achieved. It's just the tool that is simplified in terms of the speed or the automation that it offers. But still, when you have to set up a table saw that is not overly complicated, still, if you can push a button and to produce the same item that you've done 6 months ago, you can just recall a program and the fence sets up itself and the blade bends at the right angle. You know, it's very basic stuff. It's derived from bigger machinery, but it's a hell of a good improvement. Sorry, the expression is a great improvement compared having to be measuring, setting up everything. And you do it with the push of a button. So there is not really much difficulty for the operator. It's the machine that is complicated inside, but the front end is simple.
Just because I'm conscious of the fact we're getting close, time whizzes by here. There's a couple of things, but one does SCM offer for smaller companies what I describe as an inner-box solution? So can you provide, say, if I wanted to set up a new workshop, would you help me with a whole package and maybe the extraction, even maybe the finance to buy it? What do you do?
Well, absolutely. This is, again, something that it is done for large companies, because when you talk about engineering projects, we have to supply the full package. Our team of experts are led by a local project manager to facilitate all the information flow, but that is required because of the complexity of the project. When you go on a smaller customer, the complication is less for us, but it's still very complicated for the customer. So we are here to support with our sales engineer, first of all, the correct specification of the equipment, because that is step number one. Understanding the need, maybe opening the eyes to the customer to what the new technology or the new thinking can offer. And then with the agreement of the customer, we can go forward. We can supply the full package, including finance. Clearly, we are not a finance company, so we cannot deliver the financial service. But we piggyback with our specialist advisor that help the customer to put together the financial package, being asset finance or being normal finance. And from a technical point of view, if you need extraction, we can supply extraction. Clearly, the more the complexity of the project, the more we might need to look at third parties to work with us, despite we remain the team leader.
Exactly.
Furthermore, for the very manual machines, SCM has always worked with a network of very selected distributors that have always done this type of activity for their customers. So they help them to grow.
Yeah, the reason I ask, sorry, and I'm conscious we're going to have to stop very soon, but is because I'm thinking, for a small company, let's say a joinery company or a window manufacturer, they can see all the advantages of the new technology, but they need to make sure that it's about affordability, isn't it? And I think what you're saying there is that SCM can bring them into the 21st century in an affordable way. Is that fair?
That is absolutely fair. Absolutely, we have to make sure again that we are talking about the right product for the right customer.
Yeah.
But then we need to break it down in bite sizes that that customer can afford, because otherwise it's going to be just a dream.
Yeah.
Exactly. In this optic, obviously, there is finance that can help to spread the cost over multiple years, making the cost per day in the pounds.
But they'll get,
not in the tens or hundreds.
They'll get the benefit, though, of faster production, lower cost production, which will help them to pay back the cost of the machinery and make a better profit margin for themselves.
We can show numerically with a simple Excel spreadsheet the return in efficiency, in productivity, against the investment, to show how long it will take or how much they will have to sell in terms of their products to cover for the cost of the investment. Fantastic. Nowadays, we are talking about a fairly short-term payback of the machines, because the improvement are in double-digit and more in productivity. Just by being able to reprogram a machine at the touch of a button.
Exactly,
you can save an immense amount of time.
Yeah. And as we've heard, the world of wood processing machinery is constantly evolving, and you mentioned you've got some exciting new developments for Ligna, the huge timber processing machinery exhibition in Germany in May.
Yes.
So where are we headed? Can you give us some broad, obviously you can't give away too many secrets, but can you give us some broad sort of directions of where you see wood processing machinery, particularly obviously from SCM, heading, where we'll be in 5 years' time?
Well, for sure, the technology is evolving continuously. I can confirm what I said before, that in the last few years, SCM has definitely realized that we don't only sell metal, we sell also the software that drive it. We advise on the right selection of partners if there is a need, because many times customers already have a partner and we don't disrupt that relationship. But if they need additional support in the selection, we are happy to put our expertise. And so, there is a path of growth in the industry if the government will confirm that the construction numbers are achievable. That is, a big ask, but that is what we have to look at. For sure, there is a considerable guarantee that this industry is going to be here for many years to come.
Absolutely.
The important thing is to keep at the pace with the development of the market. Before I mentioned the Manufacturing Execution System, MES, is a nice acronym. It seems like it is something for big companies. Well, in reality, SCM has developed an MES for small manufacturers that have up to 5-6 machines, but that allow them to keep control of their workflow in a way that there is not going to be waste, there's going to be efficiency, and that they can recover through the tool 20 to 30% productivity. So by being organized, something that unfortunately many times there is not time to, we help even small companies to grow and be solid. No matter if you want to stay small or if you want to grow big, right? But you need to be efficient for what you do.
For survivability.
Yeah,
absolutely. And this for us is important. So investment must be reasonable and must be focused on the requirement of the customer.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Well, it's been fantastic. It's been so interesting, and I don't know where I developed it, but I have a deep interest in timber processing machinery. Actually, I like to watch it in action.
Yeah. Well, I think it's enthralling, isn't it? And SCM, this is what SCM does.
Yeah.
Gabriele, thank you so much for sparing your time to come onto the podcast. We're really, really grateful.
Yeah.
And
I really appreciate. I hope that our customers will just pay a phone call to SCM just to have a chat on what they the pebbles that they have in their shoes, or just to ask, this is where I am now, this is where I would like to go. What do you think should be the path to get there? And with no obligation. It's just a chat, just to open up the mind to what is available nowadays, because too many times people is scared to be sold something. I don't want to sell you anything unless you have a need, and then I can satisfy that need.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
First, we need to have a little bit of exchange of ideas.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Thank you.
And I mean, perhaps you can come back in the future when the next latest thing happens in timber processing machinery, and we could talk about that.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. That'd be a great idea.
Absolutely. Whenever you want, it's going to be a pleasure for me.
Fantastic.
Thank
you. Keith, I thought that was absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, I really enjoyed listening to. I mean, okay, I've known Gabriele a long time. You've known him a long time, but it's the enthusiasm, it's the care, isn't it?
Yes.
It's SCM. They're a brilliant manufacturer.
Yeah.
And they've got that scale. I hadn't really thought about that. And one bit I really focused on was when Gabriele said, effectively, that someone in the Philippines could cure a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
And then through AI, someone in, I don't know, Basingstoke can gain from that man's knowledge and experience.
And as we said, spotting problems before the machine user even knows there's a potential for that problem. And that avoids downtime and all the sort of penalties that involves.
Well, we had an earlier interview, didn't we? Previously, we've interviewed Tom from English Woodlands Timber, and he and I eulogised about a straight line edger machine that we both know that's ancient history. Yeah. And what Gabriele's bringing us is the 21st century.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it was really good.
And the developments of the software just remarkable.
Well, you know how skilled I am at IT, don't you?
Well, next time we call SCM. I think.
I think we'll get the ultimate test would be, can Keith break it? I mean, if it can survive me, it's going to be brilliant technology.
You might have a new career there. Yeah.
I don't think so. Fantastic. Road testing for SCM. No, that was really good. Yeah. Really enjoyed that.
Excellent.